to enrichment also with that piece. You know, and this being the hub, of course, you know, we don't have to beg or try to change any names. You know, sometimes they want you not to say stuff, but we got a name here. Mm-hmm. You know, they funded to be a name. Yeah. You know, so yeah, so that's what basically, like I said, I just threw out there, you know, to a few brothers, and just wanted to get your input and see if, you know, what you thought about it. It might be the first time you looked at this whole thing, because I know it's a whole lot.
Yeah, no, I've seen I haven't looked at the Justice Services part of the programming, but I've looked at, this is from their RFP, right, with DCYF, where they're looking at, so DCYF shifted their focus about 3 years ago to this group, this TAY youth group, this 18 to 24-year-old group, because they're realizing what we already know, which is like that's where a lot of the homicides are happening, right? It's happening in this age group. I mean, the 4 boys that got shot up here, it was like 19, 21, I can't remember, but they all fell within that age. And they all come
were all
from the center.
related to us in one form or another.
Oh, really, man? Most of the youngsters came through here, too. Yeah. They were in programming.
Yeah, Madrid's nephew was one of them.
Oh, he was? I didn't know that.
Okay, since we're on camera now, can you tell us who you are, sir? Please.
Mohammed Soriano Bilal.
And your position?
I'm the Executive Director of African American Art and Culture Conference.
Thank you. And you're?
Harris Edgley, Brothers for Change.
You, sir?
Joseph McHenry, made in film on by film on.
Ronnie Cole, made in film on by film on.
I'm Jacques Farrell, Lights Television.
Eddie Andrews of United Sons and Daughters of America.
And I will remain anonymous. Okay.
What?
So what I would say is, so first of all, AAACC is applying for a different grant as part of that RFP. The continuation of the grant we use right now for youth programming. So stuff like Project Level, Big Riches program, for the dance program, for all those things. We get roughly about $200,000 a year from DCYF to put on youth programming that's really for kids in the neighborhood. So we're going to be reapplying for that same money. We have yet to figure out whether we apply for more or less. We're still trying to figure out what would be the right thing to ask for. Mm-hmm. If we apply for this would need to come through. It's just going to heighten the chances for it to get the grant to come through kind of a different organization. So Eris, if it's yours, if it's one of these other brothers' organizations, and then we could be the fiscal sponsor for that. So, so it's just on the grant, it's saying AAACC is the fiscal sponsor, but it's got this other name attached to it.
Okay.
Harris, you can text your agent later.
I know everybody.
But in terms of doing it, man, it's great. I mean, we work with a sister named Lisa Gray. That's amazing, this grant writer. So she's the sister I'm working with right now. We get ours knocked out because it's a lot, man. It's a lot in terms of documentation, in terms of what they're asking for, everything. So that would be my suggestion, is like getting somebody like Lisa to work with to help draft up the grant and get it to DCYF in that time frame, and to maybe even think about in terms of the what you all are trying to do in those first 5 years, right? Like how many young people are we looking at working with? Is it a workforce development program? You know what I mean? To help with recidivism? Like, what is it? What's the actual concept that's being put forward?
Work and training program to matriculate the young offenders into this type of experience, as well as help them develop in terms of not going back to the camp, committing crimes, killing us, shooting us, robbing my aim, etc. That's what we're dealing with exactly. We want to reach out and get the hard code, because many of them have talent, and it hasn't been provided, or they haven't been exposed to it either, or maybe they have, but we want to be available to assist them when they get here. And that's in terms of not just the training and job stuff, but also the politics of the pipeline, the prison mechanism that's going on with our youth, as well as having something for them to have here. There ain't nothing here. Yeah, I mean, the culture center is an entity in and of itself, but does it totally reach out and try to target those particular hard-coded folks?
Well, what I've seen at the cultural center, and I can only really speak, I mean, I came here as a young person, but I can speak to the last 4 years that I've been here. And what I've seen the last 4 years are a lot of youth who they're affected by the violence, they're affected by the incarceration, but in many cases they're not like the hardest cats that are right. They're not like the youth that are getting locked up. They're my brother got shot, my dad is locked up, my mom's locked up, right? But they're coming here really as a safe haven in many ways. Like they're coming here to avoid what's happening on the streets. That's the if I was giving you like a character outline or of the youth that are here, those are the kind of young people that come into this building on a daily basis. How to put up solar panels, right? The solar panels are the sector, right? Green Street's the sector is recycling, garbage collection, all that kind of stuff, right? So I'm just saying, like, if we're conceptualizing this out, how are we looking at it and saying, this is what sector is going to take place in, this is what the training is going to be? Are they going to learn about this one thing, which many times happens in training programs? Or are we thinking about teaching them about the whole supply chain, right? We want these young men to know, like, if they went to want to start their own business in this, they would know how to go from A to B. And so those are the things that I think are going to need to be in the proposal, because that is also going to be how it stands out from something else. Now, the mentorship and all that, you can bake that in. You can either bake it in with trainers. You can bake it in with other brothers that are, older, who are like, hey man, I want to teach you about this, right? So there's a baked in part of it. There's a program in Columbus, Ohio that's pretty famous. They used to call it BDC, it was Black Men's Development Center. And what they did was they went to the state of Ohio and they said, right now it's costing you $60,000 a year to take care of each of these cats. What if you gave us your nonviolent offenders? Right? And you can start with a test group. So they went and said, give us 10. And we're going to take them, we're going to house them, we're going to do computer training, right? And we're going to get them all jobs. And so instead of having them locked up, they're going to come work with us. The state of Ohio took that gamble. It was only cost them no money, right? It cost them, $600,000, right? To turn these brothers over to these other brothers who work with them. They got them trained, and they got them all jobs. That first group of 10, and now the state of Ohio is sending them like tons of people, because they're like, look, we don't know how to do it. It's costing us less money for you guys than it is for us to keep them in prison. And you're giving them work. And so, those are the kind of pipelines out of prison that are powerful. But I don't know as much as you brothers do. So what I'm saying is,
let me share one
how do we
pipeline.
figure that out? Yeah.
Through this whole process, staying connected with us and engaging in mentorship, etc., we have a component in place at San Francisco State University through Project Rebound that gets guys out of prison into the university, assist them with housing, assist them with jobs, etc. That's if they want to go through the whole educational process. But if you want to get into, we'll say, having skills, to be a carpenter, etc. But the whole process in the package that I'm engaging in, doing that right now, as well as being a BA degree convict after 17 years coming out of prison and directing the program. So what you're discussing is we have the mechanism.
It's already there.
We just need a car to drive.
Well, that's great. Then there it is, man, because, that path to education, I think is going to be a convincing one for DCYF. And if you have the program already set up, plus the city, from what I've seen, loves to double dip, is what I call it. So if you got a program that's in the city, that's already getting funding from one city agency, they love to have you get funding from another city agency because it's going to be more successful. So if you got this program that's already working,
It's been there over 50 years.
so it's been there over 50 years, and all we're doing is redirecting DCYF
There
to
you
it
go.
and saying, hey, this here, it works, right?
Yeah.
We want you guys to fund it so it'll work better and we can actually address more youth than we're currently addressing.
Yeah, at some point, I need some information on you.
Right.
To contact, because what I'm going to do, September 26th, San Francisco's Project Rebound is having their 50th anniversary. And it would behoove us and you to come out to the university and see this in motion. It is a phenomenal tool at our avail at the drop of a phone call.
Well, just let me know what time it is. I'll give you all my info. The 26th is also let me make sure.
He's having something on the 30th and the 26th.
The 26th of this month is a beach festival.
Okay.
The 30th is the
The Project Rebound.
26th of... No, I'm good.
September.
I'm good. I thought it was Freedom West we have an annual meeting at Freedom West. I'm on the board over there, but 26 is great. Yeah.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we're just about to wrap up this meeting of the Western Addition Mobilization Group. We have been meeting with the director of the African American Cultural Center located at 762 Fulton Street here in the Western Addition of San Francisco, along with some of the elders of the community. And we want to try very hard to assist our young people in their endeavors, and we want to make those endeavors possible. So that's what this meeting was all about. We hope that you got something from it. Mr. Mohammed, sir, thank you very much. How can we get in touch with you in case they want to talk to you about the Culture Center?
You can send me an email at Mohammed, MOHAMMED, at AAACC3As2Cs.org, or you can call me at 415-922-2049.
Okay, that's the man that runs the Culture Center, and Mr. Pastor Harris over here. How can we get in touch with you?
I'm on Fillmore Street.
Fillmore Street. That's what you said. Okay. Thank you, everybody, for coming. We appreciate it. Take care and have a good day.
She talked a lot about how can she get some of the young people that she knows that are kind of in the system right now, coming into the center. You know what I mean? And figuring out ways to get them here, exposing them to art and other things that they don't want to go back, or they don't want to commit the crimes. Also putting some money in their pocket through programs like DCYF. But it's never been conceptualized or molded into something that we've actually done.
Here's some prime examples.
Right.
Many of the people that get hired to do Juneteenth, crooks, criminals, hardcore folks, but as soon as you say we got a little job for you, everybody put on a yellow vest and went to work because it was available. It was available in that particular instance, just as crack is readily available. Until then. So I'm seeing it, because there's something there for them. I came out of prison many, many times, and I had to take my way, break my way to get something, and couldn't get hired.
Right. So the question, okay. I think that what I need to have an understanding of and to go deeper, right, is if I can understand from you all, and this is something the grant writer is going to need too, what are the actual workforce development programs and training programs that we're talking about? Like training in what, right? In what industry?
Okay.
You don't have to answer it for me now. I think
Okay,
I'm just trying to lay down,
Okay.
like,
Yeah.
Lay it
we're
down.
gonna need to see that. We're gonna need to see, these are the things that DCYF is writing up for too. What are the evaluations that are being used, right, to make
The
sure it's
measurements,
successful,
yeah.
the measurements, right? And what happens kind of when this program ends? So if they say, hey, we're gonna give you all, right, $500,000 for the next 5 years.
But after
100
that,
grand a
what you
year,
gonna do?
What are you gonna do, right? How many young people are you looking at, right? Who are the trainers going to be? All those types of details, right? How is it going to actually manifest? And then, if the partnership with the center is happening, is that partnership one? I guess this is more of a question that I would have. You know, how much of it are we looking to do at the center? Are we looking to do it at other places? Are we looking to do it on site, right? So if they're working like, if it's if you know, like Green Streets, if their work is they're going out and they're recycling. Right. Where is that happening? What are the locations? How does it work? Those are kind of all the working pieces.
Okay.
So just on what you two have been saying,
Right.
my emphasis is more of this. Was it an ounce of care? Is always more than a pound. Okay, you know what I'm saying. I'm not getting it right.
Yeah.
So I want to really work with them to make me on the edge and keep them from going in.
Right.
That's really my focus. You know what I'm saying? And just listening to you right now, like a mentoring program between those who've been in and those who have not been in and don't want to go in.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And maybe bridge some type of coalition with them. Now, along with what you've been saying, I've already started doing a documentary on Huckleberry. What's his name? Huckleberry?
Yeah.
Not Huckleberry. The brother who painted the mural.
Oh, thank you.
But his last name is
Huckabee.
Huckabee, thank you. I always mess his name up. Huckabee, right brother, musician, etc., etc. He painted the mural on Hamilton Gym.
Paying more than that, yeah.
Well, I know of that one, and every time I go by there, people are standing in front of it, taking photos. Just the day before yesterday, I walked by there. There were some French people that were taking photos in front of it. He has a fascinating story. So I really want to tell his, along with some of the other people, that are like, you know, and combine
Male
that.
breeze too.
Combine that in, you know.
Artists? Okay.
And then
The died on us.
and you just mentioned Citizen Film
Yeah.
and Green Street. Without mentioning words, kind of off camper though.